Hey guys, it's Loves to Loom here. Today I'm going to be showing you how to create this really cute lion's cage bracelet. This was created by the very talented Loomy Mama on Instagram. So I'll definitely have her information below so you can check her out and give her a follow. You may have seen this posted as the lace stitch bracelet, I believe, but she did rename it to Lion's Cage. So just be aware of the name change. But I would say it takes about 110 to 20 bands or so. And yeah, so without wasting any time, let's get started. To make this bracelet, I do recommend having 2 hooks or a double-ended hook if you have one. I'll be using 2 hooks today. And then you also need just 1 C-clip. So I'm going to start using my limited edition purple bands. You can use whatever type of bands you prefer. And we're going to start by putting a cap band on. Grab 2 more bands using that same color. We're going to pull them through and reattach. Like so. Still using that same color, we're going to pull 3 bands onto each side. So the first band we place on is going to go through only the first 2. Before closing that off, we need to pick up the band that is closest to our hook and place it back on. Like so, and now close that one off. Grab your next band. This is going to go through the first 2 bands only. And before closing it off, we're now going to grab the band that's closest to the outside and place that on our hook. And now you can close that one off. And we have to add 1 more to this side. This is going to go through the first 2 bands again. We're going to pick up the band that's closest to the outside, place it back on our hook, and close it off. So if you have a double-ended hook, slide it down now. Otherwise, we need to get a good pinch of our bracelet and turn it around. So now we're going to do the same exact thing to this side. So placing my first band on, this is going to go through the first 2 bands. Before we close it off, we need to pick up the band that's closest to our hook and place it back on. And now close that off. And make sure that you keep them in the order that they're in. Grab your second band. It's going to go through the first 2 bands. Before closing that off, we're going to pick up the outside band, place it on, and close it off. We're going to do that 1 more time. So place that on your hook, bring that through the first 2, pick up the outside band and place it back on your hook and close it off. So it should look like this right now. So we have a total of 6 inner bands here. We need to pull another band through, which is what I used white on this one. So it's kind of like a connector band. I'm going to use clear, but I'm going to do it in a way that I pull it through all of them so that I don't have to worry about holding on to these 2 end ones. But I just want you to know that the goal is to get them through the middle 6. So I'm going to place it on my hook. I'm going to pull it through the first 8. So 2, 4, 6, 8. Do not reattach it yet. You need to hold on to the other end of that clear band or whatever band you just pulled through. We need to pick up band 1, which is closest to our hook. You want to put it back on. And now we're going to pick up band 6. So skip over 2, 3, 4, and 5. Pick up band 6, like so. And now if you did it like me, we have to replace the 2 outside bands and now close off that clear. Since I did it that way, I have to rearrange, so I just need to pop these 2 outside ones over like so, because our goal is to have that clear in the middle like that. Make sure that these two end ones did not get rearranged. And now we're going to add on one more band for this section, which will now go through these inner 4, and that's still going to be the first color of purple. So I'm going to do it the same way I did it the first time so that I don't have to hold on to these 2 bands. I'm going to bring it through the first 6 bands. You want to try to keep the 4 middle in the order that they're in. So going through the first 2, and then pull it through these inner 4. Now before you close that off, we need to pick up the band that's closest to our hook and place it back on. We're going to skip over the 2 middle and grab the other side of that same connector band and place that back on. Now we're going to reattach the 2 outside bands and close off your connector band. Once again, we have to rearrange, so we need to grab these 2 bands, plop them over. So it should look like this. So now we're actually going to go to our next color. This is the start of our next section. So I'm going to go to gold. We're going to go through the first 4 bands. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Before we close it off, we have to pick up the second band that is closest to our hook. So I'm going to turn my hook over and kind of move that first one out of the way and get under the second one and place it back on like so. Now I'm going to flip my hook back over, and we're going to pick up the very outside band, place that back on, and close off that band that you pulled through, like so. So we need to bring 2 more on because we always add 3 bands onto each side. So this next one's going to go through the first 3. Pick up the outside band, place it back on your hook, and close it off. Adding our last one on, it's going to go through the first 2. Pick up the outside band and place it back on your hook and close it off, like so. So now we need to do the other side, but before we turn it around or switch it, I want to grab this band here and pull on it a little bit because you don't want to lose that band in the process of turning it around. So I would actually recommend, if you don't have a double-ended hook, to grab another hook and transfer it that way instead of flipping it, just because you take the risk of losing some of the bands because of the tension. So I'm just going to slide this hook through like so. So now we're going to go ahead and start adding our bands on. Just be careful when you pull your first one through these 4. You don't want to lose this band here because we need to pick that back up. So I'm going to place on my first band and pull it through the first 4 bands. And before reattaching that, we're going to move the first band out of our way and pick up the second band that's closest to our hook. We're now going to grab the band that's closest to the outside and place that on our hook, and now close it off. I have to add 2 more. This is going to go through the first 3. Pick up the outside band, place it on your hook, close it off. Do that one more time, going through the first 2. Pick up the outside band and place it back on and close it off. So it should look like this now. And this is where we need to pull our connector band through these inner 6. I'm going to do it the way I did it the first time. So I'm going to go through the first 8 and we'll just reattach these 2 so that I don't have to hold on to them. So again, going through the first 8. So before we reattach this, we need to pick up band 1 and 6. So the band that's closest to your hook, we need to pick up. And then we're going to skip the middle 4 and pick up the last one right there. And now reattach the 2 end bands and close it off. So we want that connector band sitting in the middle, so I'm going to plop these 2 outside ones over, and it should be sitting like that. So now we're going to grab one more of our gold for this section, and this one needs to go on the inner 4. So I'm going to pull this through the first 6. Try to keep the bands in the correct order. Before we close that off, we're going to pick up the first band closest to your hook, which is the connector band. Skip over the middle 2, grab that 4th band, which is the other part of the connector band, place it back on your hook. Now we're going to pick up the 2 outside bands, place them back on, and close it off. So you're now going to need to rearrange your 2 outside bands, plop them over, and it should be sitting like that. And this is where we will switch our color. So I'll go back to my purple. This is going to go through the first 4 bands. Before we close it off, we're going to pick up the second band closest to our hook, place it back on, and now we're going to pick up only one of the outside bands and close it off. We're going to do that 2 more times. So the second band needs to go through the first 3. Pick up the outside band, place it back on your hook, and close it off. Adding band 3, this goes through the first 2 bands. Pick up the outside band and place it back on and close it off. So it should look like that. So now I'm going to use my other hook to transfer it, but first I want to get this band here and pull on it so that we don't lose it. So grabbing my other hook, I'm going to just pull everything down and try to shimmy this in. Couldn't think of the word. Slide your hook out. Turn it around. And now we can, I'm so scratchy, sorry. And now we can work on this side. So grabbing my first purple. Remember, you don't want to lose that band there because we're going to have to put that back on our hook, so I'm going to pull on it again. This is going to go through the first 4 bands. Before I reattach it, I'm going to pick up that second band closest to my hook. And now I'm going to reattach the outside band and then close it off. This is going to go through the first 3. Pick up the outside band, place it back on your hook, close it off, and add 1 more on for this side. Go through the first 2. Pick up the outside band and close it off. So now we need to bring our connector band through, which will go on the inner 6. I'm going to bring it through the first 8 bands. So I'm going to pull it through those 2 so I don't have to hold them, and now pull it through these 6. We have to pick up the first band closest to our hook and the 6th band. So picking up the first one. Whoops. Let's try that again. So I'm going to pick up my first one, place that back on, and the 6th one, place that back on. We're going to connect the 2 outside bands and now close it off. Rearrange your 2 outside ones so they're sitting outside of your connector band like so. Grab your purple band or whatever color you're using for that section. We want to get it through the 4 middle. So I'm going to bring it through the first 6. Try to keep them in the order that they're in. Before you reattach it, we're going to pick up the outside band closest to our hook and the 4th band, which is the other side of that same band. We're going to connect the 2 outside bands and close it off. Rearrange your 2 outside bands so it's sitting like that. So now we're going to switch colors again and go back to gold. So this will go through our first 4. We need to pick up our second band closest to our hook, place it back on, and you're going to place the outside band back on as well, and now close it off. Go through the first 3, pick up the outside band, place it back on, close it off, and do that one more time, going through the first 2. Pick up your outside band and place it back on, and close it off. I'm going to pull this band so that it doesn't get lost in there. So I'm going to grab my other hook, slide it through everything. So now we'll do the same thing on this side. So I'm going to go ahead and just do it quietly, and you guys can certainly follow along. Alrighty guys, so when you have reached your desired length and you are at the point when you're ready to close it up, you want to be at this point here, and we're going to do the same as we've been doing and pull the middle band through the middle 6. Doing it the way I do it, I'm going to pull it through the middle 8. So I'm going to pull them through just like before. We're going to pick up band 1 and 6 like we've been doing. Put them back on your hook. Reattach the outside 2 and close it off, and rearrange your outside 2 bands just like I've been doing the whole time. And then we're going to bring our next one through the middle 4 like we've been doing before. But I'm going to bring it through the first 6. Just like before, I'm going to pick up the first band and the other side of that band, which is the fourth one. Place them both back on your hook. Attach the two end ones. Close that off. And you have to rearrange your outside too. So it should be like this right now. And that's actually where we're going to pull one band through this whole thing. So everything goes on this one band. Connect it together. And of course that is where you will attach your C-clip. So I do hope that was enough instructions. If it is not, you can certainly rewind and watch the previous instructions. So I hope you guys like this design. This is the super cute lion's cage bracelet created by Lumi Mama on Instagram. If you guys do make this, please tag her and myself, Loves to Loom, on Instagram. We'd love to see it. And if you like this design, if you could please hit that like button below, I'd greatly appreciate it. So I do appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you all at my next video. Bye!